All right, welcome back to Alea Jacta Est. This is tutorial 22, and today we're going to take a look at how to do an amphibious assault part 1. So it's going to be 2, maybe 3 tutorials to kind of go, sorry, I'm just adjust the seat a bit, kind of go through all this. Yeah, so kind of just think about the general idea. If I go down here and look at Numidia, and I hit the overlay, I see, oh, okay, this is completely controlled by the Pompeians. Let's open up a new front down there. So obviously the only way we can get there is through the sea. So your question is, Charles, okay, how do I use ships to get down there? All right, well, the first thing you want to do is think about, okay, where do you want to leave? So we're going to leave from the harbor city of Genoa. And a couple reasons why we're going to do that. One is we've already started to recruit some new legions there. I was initially going to use them to go west or east, but I think we're gonna, yeah, well, we are. We're gonna send them down to Africa now. The second thing is we need a fleet. Okay, so we do have a fleet here, and one important thing you want to look at is what's called transport capacity. So you see here it says transport capacity is 0 out of 178. Another way of seeing that is to take a look at, for instance, transport ships, and they have an ability that's called large transport, or just basically a transport capacity of 10. Now, I think it looks like some of these others. Okay, so these ships have a transport capacity of 3. So a light warship has some transport capacity, a little bit. Let's look at this one, and another light warship has 1. So different ships have different transport capacity levels. Your transport ship, like I said, has 10, which we can pretty much guess is going to be the highest. Now, when you're recruiting a legion, you don't really necessarily know, okay, how many ships do I need for this number of troops? It's kind of complicated. So the game is a much simpler way of looking at it, which is basically what's called weight. So you look here in the bottom, it says weight 24. So Legion takes up 24 transport capacity. So obviously look at the other one, it's also 24. Okay, that's easy, that's 48. And then 60. Another way of doing it would be if you had a stack, and then you go over the stack, it automatically sums it for you 60. And here we know that we already have transport capacity of 178. Okay, so 60 is less than 178. So when we're ready, we will be able to move those 2 legions and the supply with them, because you generally want to be moving supply with your troops when that time comes. Okay, let's take a look at the fleet again. We have an admiral, and like I said, you generally want your large forces or forces you're moving on the sea to have an admiral, because it gives them some benefits, some combat benefits, and they have some special abilities. You kind of see they have the admiral symbol here to distinguish themselves from generals. Now, I also have another fleet that's going to go into the Genoa harbor. So we're going to have a decent-sized fleet, and then that's important because when I'm transporting those legions, I don't want to have to worry about that. You're not going to send legions out there with no protection on the sea. Well, that would just be silly. I mean, so all right. So think about, like, I guess tutorial 1 is, okay, choose where you want to leave from, get your forces there or recruit forces there. Make sure you have a fleet, preferably led by an admiral with adequate transport capacity and adequate power, in other words, protection. And we also need a general, because these 2 legions and supply units doesn't have a general. And I think I have an extra. Actually, I've already sent them. So I'm sending 2 generals that way. Yeah, so if you're probably gonna see the AI do some amphibious assault, and we started to really get into AGA's other game, American Civil War. It became a really exciting thing to do. We'll just move in troops around via ships, because there's so many surprises that can happen by doing that. Yeah, just kind of, it really opens a whole other set of options, a whole other front. So I've always enjoyed doing it. So we're kind of going through here, battles. quite a lot of action. And you can see I'm sending Caesar back up to Rome. I think I've recruited another legion there, or I'm sending one that way. So I'm going to leave a legion and a small force in Sicilia, in case you're wondering about that. Okay, so I'm going to go back to Genoa, and hopefully you guys are familiar with this now, or if you're joining us late. So we had the two fleets come in, and now I'm just going to, oops, don't want to do that, but I'm just going to merge them together, and now you can see their power is 1129, 12,000 men, which is quite a large force. And then our legions are still being recruited and formed here, but they do have generals now, and you can see that they have no command penalty. Command usage 6, maximum command 9. Okay, so I think you're going to feel like we're using a lot of the different previous tutorials and other things we've learned about command usage and make sure they have supply and then merging stacks and all that kind of great stuff. All right, this has been tutorial 22. I'm probably going to skip ahead a couple turns for the next tutorial so we can go ahead and get on with it's going to be our first amphibious assault. All right, see you next time.